In a bustling town in southern Nigeria, there lived a young girl named Ifeoma.
She was 18, smart, and full of life, but she was deeply unhappy with one thing: her phone. Ifeoma wanted an iPhone, not just any phone, but the latest model. To her, an iPhone wasn't just a gadget, it was a symbol of status, success, and beauty. All her friends in school had one, and as Christmas approached, she made up her mind she would have an iPhone by any means necessary. Ifeoma was from a humble home. Her parents, hardworking but struggling, could barely afford to give her money for school, let alone buy her an iPhone. Each time she brought it up, they would dismiss the idea, telling her to focus on her studies and appreciate what she had. But their words did nothing to calm the burning desire inside her. She wanted it so badly that it consumed her thoughts. One day, while scrolling through her Instagram feed, she came across an account of a girl from a nearby town flaunting expensive clothes, designer shoes, and of course, the latest iPhone. The girl's life seemed perfect. Everything Ifeoma dreamed of. Ifeoma wondered how someone her age could afford such luxuries. Not long after, she noticed a strange man had started liking all her pictures and sending her private messages. His name was Don K, and from his pictures, he seemed wealthy, always posing in front of big cars, wearing flashy clothes, and holding wads of cash. Don K told her how beautiful she was and promised to buy her the iPhone she had been craving for Christmas. He said all she had to do was spend some time with him. He hinted at taking her on shopping sprees, showering her with gifts, and offering a life of luxury. At first, Ifeoma was cautious. Her parents had always warned her about men like this, but the thought of owning that iPhone, of finally showing off to her friends, clouded her judgment. She convinced herself that it was harmless, just one night of fun, and she would get what she wanted. She didn't tell her parents. Instead, she told her friends, who encouraged her. Why suffer when there's an easy way out? One of them said. On a Friday evening, a week before Christmas, Ifeoma agreed to meet Don K. He came in a sleek black SUV and took her to a fancy hotel on the outskirts of town. The hotel looked grand, but there was something unsettling about it. The staff barely spoke, and the rooms were dark. Despite the rich decor, Don K treated her to an expensive dinner, bought her new clothes, and even showed her the iPhone he had promised. It was there, in his hand, just waiting for her. But as the night wore on, Ifeoma began to feel uneasy. Don K was acting strange, making calls in a language she didn't understand. At one point, he took her hand and looked deeply into her eyes. "You want this phone, right?" he asked, smiling in a way that made her uncomfortable.
Before she could answer, the door to their room burst open, and two men in red robes entered, their faces grim. Fear gripped Ifeoma. She tried to run, but Don K grabbed her, his grip like iron. The men in robes spoke in low, ominous tones, and she realized with horror what was happening. She had been lured into a trap. They were not there to spoil her with gifts, they were there to use her for a ritual. The next morning, Ifeoma's parents woke up to find her missing. They searched everywhere, called her friends, and went to the police. Days passed with no word of her. The town buzzed with rumors of girls who had gone missing after meeting rich men. It was only after Christmas, on New Year's Eve, that Ifeoma's body was found near the outskirts of town. The life had been drained from her, and in her cold, lifeless hand was the iPhone she had desperately wanted. Her tragic story spread through the town, serving as a grim warning to others. Ifeoma had fallen victim to her own desires, lured by the promise of wealth and status. In the end, the iPhone she had longed for came at the ultimate cost: her life. From that day on, parents in the town became more watchful of their children. Ifeoma's story became a tale of caution, a reminder that not everything that glitters is gold, and that the price of material things is sometimes more than one can afford to pay.